Yeah, so that's my official opinion. I hold to my previous opinion that the building is not significant and therefore does not warrant a demolition
Well, first, we should
review,
let
right?
everybody know that the meeting's not officially happening. There are two people in the
Yes.
audience.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go ahead. Or
So we don't have quorum tonight, so we're unable to hold the public hearing that was scheduled. We're just here to let you know that the meeting is going to have to be rescheduled and to discuss next steps on the public hearing. So that's what we were doing, and we're going to determine whether we can, yeah. We're going to have to
okay,
talk among ourselves, I guess, but
yeah, so when we don't have a quorum, we're having a meeting, but it's not
you can't make any
significant.
like votes or
Right,
decisions.
okay, okay.
I
So
have a couple of things to mention in relation to this. I remember the site visit vividly because it was the first time I'd met Barry Roberts in person, although subsequently we've had other site visits with him as commission members. And I remember him talking specifically about preserving the little alleyway. Some people love that alleyway probably, and some people think it's really icky. I happen to think it's wonderful and part of our sort of wayfinding, historic wayfinding in town. And Mr. Roberts was, up for keeping that with whatever he was planning to do. So that was really encouraging. And I think I did have some reservations. I'm always the person who seems to have to be in that category, and it was to do with the the leasing of the building that he would like to demolish, which is currently the Amherst typewriter store, because I believe that is one of Amherst's historic Black-owned businesses. And I want to make sure that in whatever way we come to an agreement about the demolition permit, that there is a full kind of history or interview with the person who has run the store, who's been there a long time, I think, and as a tenant of Mr. Roberts's and maybe the previous owners of the building. And I'm really happy to see that the current request is for a two-story building, which is what the buildings there are currently are. So that's really nice to see that sense of the forms of the roof lines kind of staying intact, as it were, visually, in terms of forms and shapes. I'm really encouraged by that. That's all I need to say.
So my understanding is that you can't put conditions on it if it's determined to not be significant. So if that's enough to make it significant and you want to go ahead and have the hearing and do that, or you can do that kind of thing on your own or just talk to Mr. Roberts separately.
Yeah.
But we can't, I mean, we're not making
Okay.
a decision tonight in any case, so.
I get it, Walker. That's fine. I mean, I think we did take a vote. Robin, do you think I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure we did.
yeah, because they were granted a demolition permit,
Yeah.
so we know that it made it to there. The only thing I would say, Walker, is, and I don't know how we can do it with our numbers, but as opposed to any sort of conditional thing, I would say in terms of what Hetty's referring to and talking to Barry, the commission could invite him back just so we could have, make our comments known to him as a refresher. Whether he wants to attend or not is entirely up to him. And then as far as the history of the building, Hetty, you and I are supposed to be doing all this documenting of our demolished buildings. So I guess that's technically on us.
We have a spreadsheet started.
Yeah, we started with spreadsheets. So put this one on there.
Yeah, I'll add it.
And and we should, and when I get back from my vacation, maybe we can start, banging some of this stuff out. That would be good. Even just, the most I don't know, rudimentary isn't the right word, but the most basic historical reviews, just so it gets put down on paper, because I think that's a valid point. Okay.
Okay. So do we even want to try to talk about a next meeting right now?
Well, as I said, I'm not available until whatever date that was that I told you that I'm not
You said the
available.
19th, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
like basically until I get back.
Well,
Yeah,
there
like
might not be
any
sorry.
other members, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Right.
guess depending on what Rob says about this hearing, which even if he says we have to hold it again, we can't hold it without quorum.
Right.
I guess my preference would be to wait, find out if we get more members, and then schedule a hearing once we have a couple more people on board, even if that means you're not meeting till August.
Me.
Okay, I mean, I would say I don't quite know where, what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say that, is it really necessary to have another hearing for this one, given our numbers?
I,
And I mean,
yeah,
I would say, from my perspective, having been on the commission prior, I think when this was reviewed, I don't think it should have even made it to the hearing level. And if we can avoid having to do that, that would be great. And I'd love
Yeah.
to entertain Hetty's suggestion just to invite Barry to come talk to us. That would be great.
I
If
agree.
Yeah.
I think that if Rob says legally we have to have it, we would be fine to schedule it. And then, or we could even maybe be able to do that tonight, just grant it constructively because we don't have quorum. Like if we don't, if we don't continue the hearing, then it just automatically gets granted within a certain amount of timeline.
Right.
And I think that would be fine in this case.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah.
Sounds
Don't have
good. Okay.
any
Okay.
issues with that.
I
One
think we
less
have
thing that,
a consensus.
Yeah, and maybe we'll get lucky and no other permits will come in the next month.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So, I mean, I would say just aim for an August meeting if we can get, what do we need? 2 more members?
Yeah, and I know of 2 applicants. There might be more by now, but even if we just got 2, that would be something. One of them
Yeah.
is
We can get
a
them all to
woman
meet at the same time.
one is a woman who contacted me who just finished school for historic preservation, I believe, and is really super interested in being more involved. She even asked if there was like job openings or anything. She really wants
Oh,
to be
great.
super involved in it, so she's super
Mhm.
excited about this idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know my availability for interviews now.
Yep.
And I don't know, Hetty can always attend in my absence if it's a timing thing in July. I'm
You
not available.
deputize me, Robin. That's fine. And if the town is okay with it, be happy to
Yeah.
Basically,
Do
the
you have an official
participate.
vice chair?
What's that?
Do you have a vice chair? I guess Madeline's the vice chair,
Yeah, well,
technically.
I mean, not in 7
Leaving.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So,
Okay. Well, I'll talk to Angela and see what she has for
okay.
us.
Okay.
Sun is setting apparently.
Is it?
Half of the
Maybe it'll
sun
cool
is
down a little.
like black and white cookie. Okay,
All right.
Else?
so
I
that's
guess
it for
that's
now, right?
Yeah, that's all we can talk about for now, I think. So
Are we adjourned or
we never really met.
Yeah.
are we suspended?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is someone in the audience who has a question, so I'm gonna go ahead and allow Gregory to talk. If you want to unmute yourself.
Hey guys,
Hello.
Hello?
hi. I'm Greg Dubell. I'm with the Public Archaeology Lab.
Okay.
Yep, and I
Yeah,
know
you had
I know you
your-
guys do.
Yep.
How are you?
Sorry about that.
No, go ahead. What were
So
you saying?
we had a last minute, someone wasn't going to be able to make it, so we don't have quorum.
Yep.
So we aren't going to be able to discuss your project tonight. Do you have a deadline for that?
Yeah, I just wanted to just give just a quick introduction of myself, even though you don't have a quorum, it's not an official meeting.
Yeah.
And just give some context as to the reporting that we submitted. I mean, we're happy to kind of join in the next meeting when there is a formal meeting where you can have minutes and such. But we so PAL, Public Archaeology Lab, I'm sure you're familiar with us. We do work kind of across the Commonwealth. We're doing work for Eversource Energy. They have a vegetation clearing project. We support a bunch of their projects. This one specifically, we did a bunch of archaeological assessments for the right of way to identify areas of archaeological sensitivity. And we sent out our reporting out to all the various municipal historical commissions that corresponds with this line. So really, we are just interested in getting feedback from the historical commission. Of all the municipalities that this project crosses, Amherst is probably the smallest, tiniest little stretch of the right of way that this 27-mile project crosses. I think it's like one structure. I think it's like not even a football field lengths. And we didn't assign any archaeological sensitivity. So effectively, what we're looking for is any kind of feedback that the Amherst Historical Commission might have on known resources, things that need to be considered by Eversource in project planning. I don't know. We didn't pick up on any recorded archaeological sites, any stone walls, any known resources in the project impact area. So we're happy to kind of join the next meeting, in kind of the way that you guys can communicate leading up to that meeting. If there's anybody that might have some kind of institutional information based on any records that the commission maintains, that would be helpful for us in kind of coming into the next meeting.
Greg?
I mean, it's such a small little piece of.
Yeah, where is it exactly?
I don't know if I can share my screen
Oh.
as a visitor to your
Yeah.
commission,
Well,
but I've
Hetty,
got a map up.
in the packet, I sent his things in the packet. So they should have been in one of my emails, or they're on the town website. I have a question, Greg.
Sure.
Does this need to be in a public meeting from your point of view? Is this something that you're required to have at a public meeting, or are you just looking for feedback?
It's the latter, right? So
Yeah,
I
so
used to.
I imagine that I could send it. I did send it, but I could remind the commission to take a look at it, and they could email me their feedback, and we wouldn't have to necessarily, just because we're not sure when we're meeting again.
Yeah, no, understood. Yeah, no, I live in Rhode Island. I'm on our planning board, and getting a quorum sometimes is tricky.
Yeah.
Years ago, back in 2004 and 5, I worked at the Mass Historical Commission, and what we always saw the municipal historical commissions as is kind of the eyes and the ears of the Commonwealth. And that's kind of the perspective that MHC is asking for us to kind of just solicit any feedback. Honestly, from my perspective, I don't see this as a public hearing matter. It's really just ensuring that the information that we're advising Eversource, that they consider, any kind of resources that are of concern. We've been dealing and consulting with the Native American tribal communities, identifying other stone features, things like that. If this was a municipality where we had like 8 or 10 miles of right of way, I would think that there would be a chance that you guys would have some information that would be helpful. But here, I mean, it's very short. I want to say it's like, I could tell you the road that this is off of, if you bear with me really quick. In Belchertown, it's off of Bay Road. And that's kind of where this enters and then quickly exits Amherst.
Yeah, Route 9.
My only comment is that if it's a MHC regulatory related, I can't comment on that because I work at MHC. So.
Oh.
Well, yeah, the thing to do is probably just
No,
to
it's
send
on
everybody
heading
else-
in, Walker.
Tell Bronna and Ed I said hi.
A million years ago, I used to work for PAL, so I don't know
Oh.
whether I should even say anything.
In my role, I manage all of our energy work. So I have all National Grid, Eversource projects, Algonquin gas transmission projects like that. So these projects can be pretty big, and this project's just a unique one because it's really for vegetation management and clearing. So they've got a whole host of best management practices that they're going to be implementing for environmental resources, as well as, cultural resources. And I know Becky Weissman is on from SWCA, who's we work with her. She's managing the overall environmental permitting aspects of this project. But again, Amherst is such a small, and even if we don't even have access roads that are off the right of way, we assessed access roads in a bunch of municipalities where they extend far off the right of way for them to come in. We don't have that in Amherst. It's really, they're just using the existing rights of way and existing roads that are there.
Greg, Bay Road is a very ancient thoroughfare that has been documented, I think, by the MHC some years ago, and you know, it represents a colonial overlay of what was there in indigenous settlement periods, and so it's a place of great historic significance to the indigenous communities active in our area today. And Belchertown actually has a site where rematriation is being considered at Lamson Brook Farm. So I'm just mentioning that because, you know, of all the roads you could name, Baywood is pretty. It's a pretty important road, you know, for many towns around Amherst, as well as the little bit, as you say, that is, you know, in Amherst itself.
No, thank you. That's good. For this, I'm not the principal investigator. A woman named Diana Doucette is our principal investigator. She's got a very good relationship with the Native American tribal communities. She's actually doing a field school right now for the Mashpee tribe, which is a fun, interesting thing that we're doing. So yeah, no, thank you. That's helpful. Yeah, honestly, you know, take that back among your members, and really anything like that would be useful for, you know, stone walls, things like that. You know, there's with the tree cutting that they're going to be doing, or the even the scrub brush that they're going to be cutting. That's all identified on the mapping that we submitted in the report that got submitted. I did submit some additional reports that really aren't relevant. It's just we had 2 addendum reports after the larger archaeological reconnaissance survey report that we prepared. The 2 follow-up ones that looked at access roads and things like that don't even have any facilities in Amherst.
Okay, I will distribute it among the members then and get their feedback by email.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you. I appreciate your guys' time.
Yeah,
Sure,
thanks.
thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, have a good one. I'll drop off
You
now.
too.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Okay,
Mr. Smith?
are we done?
I think so.
Okay.
Stay cool if you can.
Yes,
Yeah, I
good luck
know.
there. Bye.
Okay, bye,
Yeah.
everybody.